Just going under a bridge now. I'm out for a cruise today, and well, I was half wanting to share the experience, you know, on camera anyway, but I was in a bit of pain again, and it was just too much to coordinate myself to do both things. But actually, 1 second, I'm going to put you in a waterproof case, otherwise the phone will go. There we go, that's better. And I'll cry. But essentially, yeah, I decided against the idea, and I started cruising, and I was screaming at the top of my lungs because I'm in physical pain, and well, if you're really in pain, I guess that's what most people would do, and that's what I was doing. And where I've calmed down from that after exhausting myself and the discomfort easing just that little bit, but still being very much present, it actually makes sense to do a live stream because it will keep me focused from the pain. So what it is I think when I'm in that place, it's just like, imagine being within yourself and going about life, and then trying to deal with pain when you're quiet and alone in the world. It's not often the first thing that you do to scream, I don't think. It would be when you reach your limit that you'd scream. Because being in that place of aloneness, solitude, is somehow, you work through the pain way. This is my perception of it from my experience. I could be totally wrong here. And where I hit my limit and I start screaming, I get to the point where it becomes like a physical exercise, and my blood warms up. And when it gets to that point, which is now, I'm able to apply what I learned at hospital on the last admission, which is basically how to enter, like, it's not hysteria, but it's like an intoxication from the pain. It's like you allow yourself to be drunk because the pain is so much that you can't be present where you were present in the first instance. So I'm using the live stream now just to ride that intoxication, because I can't really be intoxicated by myself, can I? If you don't. When you're alone to life and the world, intoxication doesn't really serve you unless it has a practical use and a practical benefit. And my practical benefit would be to ease the physical pain, ease the emotional pain, ease the mental pain, and distract myself. But if I pick up the phone and speak to the world, even though one person might view this only, it allows me to apply a certain level of focus and practicality to the intoxication, and allows me to steer it in a positive direction where I'm a bit lost in the moment with it. But what the positive is that I get to share a cruise with you. And today was like the 4th or 5th time I've moved this boat, and each time I get closer to having the experience of what it used to be like when I cruised on a boat, because it's been like my mental health and my physical health stops me. My physical health stops me, like on the first 2 times I had needed to rush because it was a case of just moving the boat for the sake of it, because of the the rules on how long you're meant to stay. And the last time I moved the boat, I was like, right, no, I'm going to have a nice cruise. Slow down, because that's what I got from cruising on my old boat, was that it taught me to slow down to life. It was like, I was used to driving, and driving you put your foot down and go, because you can, you're allowed. But on the canals, it's just like, no need, because the fastest you can really go is still very, very slow. So you might as well do the opposite and then just enjoy the slowness. And that's what it taught me, because I've always dealt with that element. And I seem to be causing a backlog of I'll show you. I seem to be causing a pile up of traffic at the moment. There's one boat stuck behind me, but this is normal cruising speed. I don't need to go faster. I'm happy going at this speed. Is the camera on? Let's do it back. So this is normal cruising speed. And I've always had a problem with rushing in my life. The outside world knocks me off my centre, and I try to please the outside world too much, and I rush and I make mistakes. And it was one of the lessons on having a boat, where it teaches you to slow down. Yeah, and it taught me to slow down a bit. It just taught me, like, right, you need to move the boat because you need to move the boat. Just chill out and enjoy the slowness. There's no point rushing, because all I need to do is go through a lock, get stuck behind another boat, and 2 hours of rushing goes down the plan, because you're going to have to wait that time for the other boat to go in front of you. So there's just no point rushing on the canals. And last time I tried to do that, and it didn't quite work, because I wasn't prepared. It's like, I've got a stool here, a standing stool where I can sit on, and it wasn't tied, and I thought I lost it, and then I had one or two problems go. It's like I fell apart. It started off the first 15 minutes like bliss, and I fell apart. But today I took my time. I did the preparations that I need to do, run through for my own self, tied the stall. The point of tying the stall is if it goes in overboard, I can pull it back, and it will go in overboard with my luck and Andreas's luck to life. That's the sort of stuff that just happens to me all the time, and I have to be prepared for it. And I started today, and it was like, oh, I'm not getting my cruise, because I was shouting and screaming in pain whilst cruising. But about the time that I've picked up this live stream, it's done the world of good for me. I'm feeling the sun for the first time this year. I'm feeling the sun. It's like I feel the sun in the sky, and I feel its nourishment. And I haven't had that all this year, for whatever reason. So it's doing me the world of good right now to be cruising. And I'll turn it around so you can see. So my boat is like, I was just thinking to describe it like a flat pack house. I've got all the bits there, well, except for like the little bits, like a bit of sealant here and a bit of tubing there. I've pretty much got all the ingredients to build myself a beautiful house, a beautiful home. And it's not going to be fully decorated, but it's going to be functional to what I have here. That's what you see in front of you, that mess. That black thing over there is a wash hand basin. and a urinal because I have a urination problem, and going standing up is far easier than going sitting down, which I would otherwise have to do on a compost toilet. So there's reasons for all of this, and the other thing I'm using as a positive about this move onto the boat is, look, I think all humans, well, I don't think all humans, I think most of us, at least here in the UK, in Europe, have awoken to what I've labelled as the collective psychosis. It's basically the secret spiritual awakening that's taking place on the planet and requires us to apply a level of secrecy and go about our everyday lives like nothing's changed. And in that collective psychosis, I'm totally pissed off with all of humans that partake within it, because my life suffers in the first instance because of it. That's what I see. And for that reason, I hate human beings that interact with it. And I see, at least here in the UK, more people interact with it than not. So in other words, from my daily interactions with people, which isn't a lot, so let's say my weekly, my monthly, my yearly interactions with people, the vast majority of them, from my perspective, are awake. I don't know how to spot anybody that's not awake to it. It's like there's so many people awake to it here in the UK. I've just given up trying to differentiate. Okay, is this child, for instance, children, are they awake, are they not? I believe if we've hit enough of a consciousness limit on the planet, they just come in awake nowadays. You know, they come in knowing, they come in remembering their past lives and who they truly are. So I don't know if the children of nowadays are ignorant as they once were. It seems like there's a generation somewhere between my generation, mid to late 80s, and somewhere into the 90s, where that's applicable in my mind, that people can possibly still function outside of this collective insanity. Okay. I think I might have found my mooring spot, so I'm going to end the live stream now. See you.